Caught in crayfish cage at 40 m depth. Op, fresh water, right? A lot of the current guesses seem like saltwater things. Saltwater. The fisherman is fishing langoustines in the sea between Sweden and Denmark. It looks like it's a bunch of anemones aggregated on one object. They hide their tentacles when threatened or out of the water. Maybe some tunicates thrown in the mix, but I definitely see anemones. I worked in Alaska on fishing boats as a biologist and saw plenty of anemones hauled up along with other organisms. Bit into a McDonald's double quarter pounder with a cheese and noticed a chemically flavor. Opened it up and saw this. What is this? Former employee. It's more than likely from their gloves they use to put the meat on the grill. Can confirm. Definitely is the gloves for raw meat. I would contact the manager ASAP. It's absolutely a one-time use glove. Use it to quickly get meat onto the grill and toss away in the trash. Working at McDonald's. It is plastic for sure. Probably from the blue bag the patties arrive in and are stored in while sitting in the freezer, or a glove people use to put meat on the grill. My bet is someone ripped the bag and put UT with the patty on the grill. I just don't understand how no one would have seen this. Go back with the burger or call the restaurant and talk about it with the manager. Covered about half the patty. Vomited shortly after, but possibly just due to the thought of consuming something disgusting like this. Found this hidden by someone in my house, in the bathroom more specifically, if that helps. Thought it might be a vape, but I don't know. There's a little hole in the top as well. Looks like a vape cartridge. That type often has marijuana inside. Definitely a marijuana vape. It's the exact same one I have. Do you have kids? No, I am the kid with 2 parents and a 9-year-old sister. This'll be a fun conversation. Just let your parents get high. Mother and girlfriend found this on the beach today. Any idea what it is? I think it is a Condylactis anemone, and the shading on its tips has darkened from being out of the water. It certainly fits for having the thicker tentacles and colored tips, and for being larger than many anemones. Dophlania armata, the armed anemone, also called the striped anemone. Photos. Probably already been said, but I wouldn't touch it. It's more than likely an anemone, and some can cause serious pain or numbness from the venom they hold. I've worked with fish tanks for a long time, and from accidentally touching small ones, I've had my whole arm go numb. Hidden safe in my fireplace. This was found under the ash trap. It looks like a canister as it has a handle. On the tag it says Star Machine and MFG out of Compton, CA with a serial number. It's rusted shut, but hoping some penetrating oil will get it open. Definitely an in-floor combination safe manufactured by Star. The 2 locating holes in the center are where the dial would be affixed and used to dial in the combination. I would recommend against trying to pry, drill, or otherwise break into the safe, as it may have a relocking system that will make it a nightmare to get into. If you're interested, it would be worth contacting a locksmith to assess your options. Although, from my experience working as a locksmith, it will more than likely be empty. How much is your curiosity worth? Oh snap, so does the dial affix to the center? The little divots on the side appear to be a way of accessing the handle. I was hoping it would just be a loosen and twist kind of deal, but maybe not. Have you searched the rest of the house to see if the dial is hidden somewhere too? We recently flipped the whole house, no sign of a dial. Can you access it from below? Not likely. It's pretty heavily encased. Potentially through the crawl space, but that sounds awful. Even if you could dig deep enough, keeping in mind this is located within a fireplace, in a house, you would need to grind through the 6 to 10 mm plate steel container, and most likely damage and or incinerate any potential contents of the safe. This would not be a practical solution, and would likely cause more damage than a locksmith is worth. Found in tip jar at work, US. 2 kopeck, 1/100 of a ruble, from year 1891, St. Petersburg, copper. Solved, thanks. This dagger I found in my grandma's house. More photos in comments. Yaminas Yanbaya, also known as a kenjar, commonly worn by men as a status symbol. That's it, thank you. Solved. Do you know what the marks on the blade mean by any chance? It looks like a maker's mark to me, essentially a signature. My friend found this bat in his house. Does anyone know what species it is? Located in MD. Hi there, I have to identify bats at my job very often. Did 6 last week, and there are several species of bats that look very similar. You have to take a number of measurements of various body parts to really be sure, because so many of them can look nearly identical. This can get even trickier if the bat is not an adult. That being said, the concern here should not be what type of bat this is. Anytime a bat finds its way into a home, there is a decent chance it has rabies. The neurological symptoms that rabies inflicts causes bats to get confused, disoriented, and they end up in places like homes where they normally never would go. If there is any chance that your friend was asleep while in the same home as the bat, he should go to the emergency room immediately and begin the vaccines to prevent rabies infection. Their little teeth are so tiny, they can bite you and not leave a mark at all. You can be totally unaware that you were bitten. Rabies is, as far as we currently know, 100% fatal, and once you start exhibiting neurological symptoms, it's too late to save you. A bat in your home while you are asleep is a surprisingly high-risk situation. I regularly test bats for rabies at my job, and while once in a while we get random bats found outdoors that have rabies, the vast majority of the rabies-positive bats we get have come from inside homes or other buildings, due to the aforementioned disorientation that rabies causes. I implore you to just be on the safe side and tell your friend to go get the vaccines. The new vaccines don't make you sick or anything like the old ones, they are just like any other shot. If you handled the bat extensively with your bare hands, you should think about getting the shots as well. I am also not saying that the bat must have rabies simply because the bat was in the house. We occasionally get bats that don't have rabies that just ended up in someone's home by random chance. However, since it was released, there is no way to test it, and in my professional experience, it is way more likely to have rabies if it ended up in a home. Please just be on the safe side. Rabies is an awful way to die and totally preventable. Thank you for the silver. Holy shit, you guys, thank you all from the bottom of my heart for the silver, gold, and platinum. You are all extremely kind, and I am humbled. Thank you. Well, the trolls have made their appearance, accusing me of spreading misinformation about bats. I love bats and all animals, and I would never want any harm to come to them. Here's the thing, I see how much more often bats found in houses test positive for rabies as opposed to bats found outside that test positive for rabies. It is beyond significantly more. It's like an order of magnitude difference. The multiple wildlife vets and regular vets I work with all unanimously agree that when bats turn up in places they normally avoid, like in someone's living room, you should automatically be considering rabies as the reason, because it affects their orientation and ability to fly away. If you are so arrogant that you think you know better than wildlife vets who have devoted their lives to this very thing, then you are a pompous twit, and I don't know what else to say to you. Absolutely, better safe than rabid. What is the purpose of this small rectangular door on the side of a tennis court fence? Leaf door. We have the same for paddle tennis courts. One section hinges out so you can push snow or blow leaves out of the court. Paddle is played through the winter. Likely solved. What is this? I passed it on my way to work, and usually there is a cover on it. It has the days of the week on it, and it's about 6 feet tall. We had these on the walls of each fire station in my city. Those were for recording water pressure in the municipal water system at various points in the system. Solved. Found on my window in South Louisiana. It is a crowned slug moth, Issa textula, caterpillar. Do not touch it unless you want a world of pain. I accidentally touched a poisonous venemouse caterpillar when I was young. Once, I went to hell and back, in and out of consciousness from the pain. Never touched any caterpillars after that. This was in South America, but the lesson still applies. I've been stung by bees and all kinds of wasps, but the most painful sting I have ever had came from a saddleback caterpillar. Went hiking with my middle school class. Someone held a tree branch so I would walk through it, but they let it go too soon and swung a saddleback caterpillar into my eye. It stung the lid in multiple places. Worst pain in my life. In Japan, the poisonous caterpillars are called iriga. Many Japanese have their washing machines outside their houses, and if one of these fell into the wash, the little hairs would spread throughout the clothes, and when you put them on, you would get stings everywhere all over your body, including the most unfortunate areas. Terrible rash for days. What are these for in an outdoor area of a hospital? These are emergency showers. An affected person, chemical spills, laboratory mishaps, etc., will pull the level on the top, and tepid water, OSHA defined between 60 F and 100 F, will douse the affected from the shower head above and boot sprayer below. The duration of these showers is required to be 15 full minutes and approximately 20 si. I design these systems. Solved. Thanks for the detailed info.